We're right with you. The Morning Majority, 5 to 9 on 630 WMAL.
637 on WMAL. Brian Eman, Matt Lewis from the Daily Caller in this morning on the Morning Majority. All right, big changes coming to the Obama administration. Leon Panetta is going from CIA to defense. General David Petraeus headed from the battlefield in Afghanistan to the CIA. Jim Woolsey, former director of the CIA, joins us now. Mr. Woolsey, great to have you on.
Good to be with you.
What do you glean from this shuffle?
Well, it makes, I think, every sense in the world for Panetta to go to defense. Gates was retiring, and they needed to replace him, and Panetta's a man of great ability and has done a good job at the CIA and as White House Chief of Staff, head of OMB, congressman. So that, to me, that makes all the sense in the world. What I don't understand is why they thought it was necessary for Petraeus to move at this point. We're at a really crucial point in the Afghan war, especially, and given all his experience over there, it just I don't think substantively makes much sense. I think he'll be a great CIA director. That's not the problem. He's a very able man and very patriotic to take whatever job the president wants to give him. But I don't know why they would move him out of the job in Afghanistan.
You think he's more valuable in Afghanistan than he is at Langley?
Well, he's very valuable both places, and he'll do a great job at Langley. It's just that I think he's maybe uniquely qualified to help us figure out how to get out of this very difficult situation in Afghanistan. So I don't think substantively that makes a lot of sense, although he'll be a great CIA director. He's an extraordinarily able man, and he's been right at the heart of the new uses of intelligence and this counter-guerrilla operations, counterintelligence operations that we're in the middle of, and I think he'll be great.
The Washington Post is actually speculating that Petraeus would helm an increasingly militarized CIA. Do you think that this implies that the function of the CIA might be evolving? Well,
the CIA has to adapt to the world of enemies, and back during Vietnam, Bill Colby, later director, wonderful man, headed up the kind of counter-guerrilla operations at the CIA, and it was a lot of it was sort of paramilitary, but that was because we were fighting the Viet Cong, and if you're fighting Al-Qaeda, you have to adapt and not just spy, not just steal secrets, but be involved in some of these counter-guerrilla operations and so forth. We don't get to choose. It's whoever comes after us that we have to defeat.
I'm curious because, ever since 9/11, there's been this mantra out there that we need to be more free with sharing information from the CIA to NSA to FBI to defense. Is it possible when, obviously Panetta is going to take the information that he had at the CIA to the Defense Department, and Petraeus is going to have information from, what he sees in Afghanistan to the CIA. Is it possible that Petraeus is going to say, gee, I wish I would have known that a couple of years ago? Or is it possible that Panetta may say, well, we don't really need to do this now in defense because, well, the CIA's already taken care of it?
They're both pretty well plugged in, I would imagine, on what both the military and the CIA have been doing. I think that they're both extraordinarily well qualified for these positions. The problem isn't them. The president has recruited a remarkable team, including Secretary of State, and that's for straight. The problem is the indecision that the president is exhibiting with respect to what we're trying to do, say, in the Middle East. The big story yesterday said one senior White House official said the president's preference is leading from behind. Well, I don't know that works real well when you're dealing with people as ruthless as Gaddafi. I mean, we get started helping the rebels and using our very able aircraft, the AC-130 and the A-10, very good at close support, and then we stop. I don't really understand what we're trying to do.
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation about this sort of war within the Obama administration, where you have Hillary Clinton and some others pushing what some might call a, quote, neocon position versus the so-called realists. I'm wondering, do you see this tension that sort of prohibited Obama from having a consistent philosophy?
I don't know, but I guess I've got to say that there's got to be some kind of tension going on, or we wouldn't be vacillating so much.
Right.
We're treating our real enemies, like the Iranians and the Syrians, pretty nicely. Occasionally we criticize them. and then people that we've been allies with for a long time, we've undercut very sharply. It just doesn't seem to have any coherence to it. It looks like it's better to be an enemy of the United States than a friend if you want to get treated nicely by the United States.
Well, you look at what's going on in Syria right now, and Bashar Assad, who is basically killing his people on the street, and what can the United States do? I mean, do we really want to go into Syria? What can we do to clean up this?
We certainly don't want to put troops on the ground,
right.
But we could provide, for example, servers for their social media so they can communicate with one another without the Syrian government being able to shut it down. We could even if the president talks very firmly and takes the side of the demonstrators and against Assad, that encourages the demonstrators. That lets them know that we're with them. It doesn't have to be so much gunfire, but they don't even know that we're on their side. He in the last few days he started to say some things a bit critical of Assad. I don't understand why people think Assad is going to be a diplomatic partner. The Syrians and Iranians have been deceiving American presidents about that for 40 years, and they've never done anything.
Well, he looks American, though. He looks modern. He looks Western. I mean, do you think that plays into it?
I don't know. Only if you're really, really naive, I think, would you go along with his looks determining. There was a KGB head at one time who drank scotch, and people said, "Well, that shows that he's kind of a Western guy." Right.
All right, Mr. Woolsey, great to have you on the show as always. We appreciate your insights. Thanks very much.